What is up, everyone? Welcome back to yet another video. Let me just make sure you can see my screen. Alright, I think the answer is yes. So today we're playing some good old Doodle Empires, our Middle East series. I know the series is getting a bit old. We're on episode number 17 at this point. But I also was debating to do a Europe series. As you can see, I got to episode 4. I didn't delete the recordings, but I don't think I'm gonna release them. I mean, I'll probably keep the recordings. Maybe I'll drop them if you all want me to make videos on the European series. I personally don't really like it because there's a huge superpower, and I don't know how I could get to split. But anyways, so in the previous episode we saw just a huge event happen in Anatolia. We saw the collapse of the Anatolian government. We then saw the new Turkish government, and then they ended up getting what's the word? I'm trying to think. What is it? What was it? It was partitioned. They got partitioned by the Egyptians, Caucasians, the Anatolians, and then two Turkish nations that united. This is the absolute kingdom. They're basically like a absolute monarchy. And as you can see, they control all of the west. Egypt controls the south. The Anatolians exist in their region, and the Caucasians have all of this northeastern area. And the Caucasians have a protectorate on Anatolia. As for Iraq, or I should say Kuwait, not Iraq. Kuwait, is now back. That's right. And then there's Persia, which I just not realized is over 1,000 years old. I think there's only two nations this year that are over 1,000 years old. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the only two nations that are 1,000 years old are the Caucasians and the Persians. They're the first. I think they're the first two. Yeah, they are. These two are the first two to still be 1,000 years old, which is insane. The Caucasians have existed since turn 50, which is honestly crazy to think about. Like I think they were starting like first or second episode, which is crazy to think about. This thing has lasted for every episode, I think. Like honestly. But anyways, let's start it up. I don't know when we'll end it at. I have a feeling it turned like 1450. I have a feeling, but the Southwest lands will have a medium expand. The Southwest lands is once again probably the most forgotten thing on this map. I think most people forget this thing exists. And I don't really blame you. Honestly, this nation is probably just going to be folded into Ethiopia at some point. I don't know when. Oh yeah, we also saw the Triple Kingdom is somehow even larger. I would argue they're the most powerful country. They're also the largest, I think. Yeah, they are. The Egyptians lost like all their southern land, but in exchange they gained this huge slice of Turkey. So I think they're happy with getting Turkey. The Albanians gained an insane amount of Greek land. They now control nearly all of Greece. And they're planning on taking over this area from the Egyptians. They also got Gallipoli in exchange for basically in exchange for like not attacking this new Turkish country, they get Gallipoli, and they're also going to get some more Turkish islands like all these ones. Basically, the Egyptian government is planning on giving this area to the Albanians. The Egyptians are still going to keep Crete, Cyprus, and all that. Let's see what happens. All right, Kuwait will have a union, and who Kuwait unites with doesn't unite with anyone. The Quadruple Kingdom will have a large expand. So yeah, the Quadruple Kingdom is as you can see, I mean they only gained a small amount of land. They're not that big. I mean, they're very small, very small nation. Not big at all. They barely control Arabia. Yeah, if you couldn't tell, I'm joking. Yeah, they really control basically all of Arabia now. Plus, they have all of Somalia. They have all of Somalia at this point. They have this whole strip of land at this point. They basically dominate the Red Sea, and they're in alliance with the Ethiopians. So it's looking good. All right, let's move on. Oh, this is a terrain map. This was pretty new. I'm guessing green is like. I'm guessing this is based off of the what's it called, like what's the word, like the relief map, if you will. Gray, I'm assuming, is mountains. Brown is hills. I'm assuming green is flatland. Let's see. The way you can tell is if it's darker, that means it's mountain. Yeah, this is all flatland. Yeah, green is flatland. On another map, which, well, I don't want, I don't want to have to like save the I'll probably shut it off when we're ending the video if I remember. But anyway, a new nation will form, and this is going to be interesting. So basically, a rebellion happens in Ethiopia, and what becomes known as Antrea will declare independence. This new Antrean state. Antrea isn't over here, I don't think. And the reason why this thing declares independence is because basically, this guy is a warlord, and he wants to he's worried that the kingdom will attack the Ethiopians, even though they really can't, because if they did, it wouldn't end well for the Triple Kingdom. The Entrens will not unite, and then the Inardu nation will form, and this time it will form. Where could it form? Trying to think. And this might, you know what? So basically, a little thing known as Triple Kingdom will basically fund a militia to form right here, and yeah, they're planning on invading it for keeping the peace, quote unquote. So it becomes known as the Eastern Entrea Forum. And Eastern Entrea is, well, obviously funded by the Triple Kingdom. They obviously want all of this Red Sea coast. They land, as you can see, these two are skirmishing. The Entreans will have a small expand. Eastern Entrea will build a castle. And whilst it's happening, Entrea will have a large expand. They will cut them off and will nearly obliterate them. They are successful. And then the Triple Kingdom will then have a small expand, and they will start slamming into this thing. And at this point, they fully seize it. They will build another castle right here. And then they will be successful, and they will completely eliminate the Entreans. And at this point, Ethiopia is getting worried. But I'll explain what's going to happen in a second. So what they do is basically the Ethiopian government signs a lease where basically they're allowed to the Triple Kingdom will lease out their ports over here. So all these ports, I know these are forts, but they're protecting a bunch of ports, we'll just say. And all these ports, you know, let me just give me a second. Can we all agree this game is a fire soundtrack? Like, I have it on really low because I'm recording, but just listen to it, like, on YouTube. It's incredible. It's incredibly good. I think it's like medieval or something. I forgot exactly what it's called. Oh yeah, the Yahovians will also just, you know, clean up these land claims. If you remember the episode where Egypt basically just got like went to rebellions, my game glitched because the Ethiopians I wasn't able to move the camera, so I had to like restart. I think the game, or it was either that or my computer. I think I had to like reopen the game. It was so annoying. That happens in this episode. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Persian will have a small expand. So what the Persians will do is they will basically send an ultimatum, and they basically say, give us these islands. The Triple Kingdom will refuse, and so the Persians do it anyway. And this move will, well, let's just say it won't go well, because this activates the alliance that the Quadruple Kingdom is in. I still call them the Triple Kingdom, I'm just used to that, so I'm just gonna stick with it. But, so the Triple Kingdom, they will call in their allies as being Egypt and the Kuwaitis, and they will almost immediately all start an invasion of Persia for like the I don't know how many times this has happened. It's probably like the 5th time this has happened in the series. But anyways, their navy will start marching in. They rapidly take this island back, just like their naval hub, which was formerly the Persian naval hub, and then they lost it. They successfully storm into these military bases, and they start seizing the coasts. And their plan is to landlock these guys. Then the Kuwaiti army will start moving in. They successfully get in, and the Persians were not expecting such a quick assault, so they managed to get 2 turns in. The Egyptian alliance. Now, Egypt is mostly handling logistics. They successfully take the capital, and Persia will, however, fight back. They establish a temporary capital right here. And what they do is they will build it right here. This becomes known as Ramses. This is their new capital. Capital Ramses. This is their temporary capital. The Kuwaiti army will then proceed to. Alright. Kuwait will, let's ignore that. Anyways, Kuwait. Okay, I'll have a medium expand. They will start marching into this Persian area. They're having a field day. The Caucasians will, however, then proceed to say, if you two do not stop, well, something's gonna happen. Now, the Caucasians may or may not be working on something. Let me just, hold on, give me a second. Just let me look something up. Okay, let me just see something. Let's see. Okay, that could work. Alright, so basically, the Caucasians, they get uranium and they have nukes. I'm serious, they got nukes. So you're probably asking yourself, how did they acquire nukes? They've been working on it for a while. I didn't mention this, and that's mostly because I figured, it wouldn't make sense to you up until something major happened. And they were working on nukes right over here, right? And the reason is because no one knows how to fly over these mountains. Pretty much no one is used to these extremely high mountains. The Persians don't really live in this mountainous area. They mostly live on the coast, which isn't the most mountainous, as you can see. So pretty much no nation is used to all these mountains. The Turks are kind of, but not really. As you can see, I'd say like 80% of Caucasia, at least in our main area, is mountains. Caspia is mostly flat. Their Caspian colony, which they annexed it a while ago. Pretty much no nation has the capability of being able to fly over the Caucasus Mountains, and no one is that good at high altitude flying except for Caucasia. So what they do is they basically will threaten to use their new thing, and no one knows what this is, because remember, no one knows what nukes are. And the Caucasians will deploy them, and what they do is they will deploy one on the capital of Kuwait, which I think is like this, around here. And the other one, they don't use it yet because they're not sure where to hit the quadruple kingdom, because remember, they have like multiple capitals, because they're a monarchy. Like they have a capital here, I'd say here, here. They have like 4 or 5 capitals, so I don't really know where to hit them. They say maybe here because it's like their most important area, but they're not sure. But they use this, and this heavily weakens Kuwait, which allows the Caucasians to start invade. And what happens is basically the Caucasians will successfully. So this nuke will essentially just obliterate the Kuwaiti government. The Caucasian forces will start marching in rapidly because the army is busy in Kuwait. This front has been pretty much a stalemate. Caucasia hasn't made any moves. any Kuwait hasn't, because a Caucasian never really attacks. They're mostly logistics. I'd say, like, in most of the wars they fight with the Persians in, usually they're like the logistical people. Like, they usually send supplies, but most of the time they're helping with logistics and stuff. And they will start marching in, and they successfully will overthrow the government and unite with them. And this is quite a big blow. And now they're connected. The will Persians will successfully start marching. Okay, not now. Not now, game. We're trying to do a story here. Okay, good. So the Persians will successfully march over here. They take this fort. Okay, they get a small expand, and they will successfully start marching into their eastern area. The Caucasians have heavily aided them, and so they will do extremely well. Caucasians are planning on also marching, but for now they're just making sure that all their stuff is correct. And now they will start to march. And this nuke will heavily destabilize the war plans. So they decide, you know what? So they basically send a deal, right? And in exchange for not getting nuked, and also what they do is, so basically in the treaty, what happens is the quadruple kingdom will be allowed to hold all these islands down. Like, they're allowed to annex all these islands, and Persia is forced to renounce all their claims on them. The quadruple kingdom will also they also will get a more accurate border. They agree to change the border a bit. And the last thing they both agree is that both sides will sign a non-aggression pact. Like, Egypt was about to join, but since they realized that they have nukes, they're like, no. I figured I'd mention this, by the way, but the way they got nukes is because basically, so this area is, I know you can't get it, see it on the map, like, I can't give Caucasian this land, but they can, like, still use it. Like, on the map we don't see it, but they own all this. Like, once again, you can't see it, but they own it. And that's how you're able to get all that uranium. Because remember, Caucasia pretty much never attacks someone, so they have a lot of time, and they have a lot of areas they can do stuff in, like a lot of science and stuff. Because remember, they're the oldest country, and they're also probably the most stable out of all the countries. I'd say they're probably by far the most stable, because, I mean, they've had the same government for, over nearly 1,200 years. Nearly 1,250 years. I mean, they've had the same government for so long. So Caucasia is able to do a ton of stuff most countries wouldn't be able to. But with that being said, let's move on. The Persians will retake their coast. And Caucasia has a second nuke, but they're not using it. They're planning on keeping it. Persia will build a fort right here just to protect their area. So while these two are just getting the land they both were agreed to receive in the treaty. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, the quadruple kingdom will the quadruple kingdom, what they also get is they also receive so they basically also receive the ports. So what happens is the Persians are forced to, like, give their ports to the quadruple kingdom in exchange for retreating from these areas. Both sides agree to this, and I figured I'd mention this, but neither side, like, pillages each other's capital. Like, neither side did that. They'll build a fort right here to, like, just make sure their border is safe. I mean, they trust Caucasians, but... And then, as you can see, these are new borders. Caucasia will get this part. The Persians will also get this more inland area. Then we have the Caucasians getting their claims. finally, they agree upon this to be the new border. Like this roughly straight line. Pretty much everyone is now scared of Caucasian. Now everyone knows they have nukes. And these nukes are like the ones that the U.S. used on Japan. These ones, these radiation. This radiation is like it'll last a few years, but it won't be like so bad that there's gonna be like a pretty severe, not gonna be like a hyper severe thing. Like what I mean is the radiation is not bad if it's just like whole area is contaminated. It's only the city. The rivers are also a bit contaminated, so these rivers might dry up a bit. The world will be much colder though because of the nuke, so there's gonna be a lot of population losses. Yes, and what happened to the emperor was basically what happened to the emperor was he went to like Caucasia, and he basically agreed to be the one who like he went to discuss the peace treaty, and the Caucasian government they basically offered to give him like governorship over this area, and he agreed. So his daughter became the new emperor, the empress, I should say. As you can see, so as you can tell, these are the new borders. The Caucasians agree not to nuke anyone else. Caucasia. So the Caucasians. The question is if they unite with the Persian. The answer is, I'd say maybe. And what happens is, so Caucasia will send something over to the Persians, right? And this deal basically says if you unite with us, you get to keep your empire, and and we'll help you defend this area. The Persians will agree, and now we have this huge new union. And you know what? Why don't we change name? I'm just kidding. We're never gonna change Caucasia's name. Caucasia is the oldest country on this map. I'm never gonna change their name. I don't think. Oh no. Okay, great. I just now realized that if you do that, it sticks with the original name, like the name you put in. I didn't actually know that. Alright, Egypt will have a small expand. And what Egypt does is, Egypt will basically just... So Egypt will, take over these islands in the Absolute Kingdom, and basically they have a deal, right? So Egypt will get all these islands, but in exchange, Egypt gets a protectorate over the, basically, like, they both agree to a mutual protection alliance. And that's mostly because pretty much everyone is worried about the Caucasians now, because they have, well, nuclear bombs. Figured I'd mention this, but Caucasia has only built 2. The other nuke is just for deterrence. Like, they're not planning on building any more. And the reason is because the nuclear winter is, getting pretty bad. And, it's like reducing crop yield, it's getting colder, a lot of people are dying. So the Caucasians are like, we shouldn't build any more nukes because we don't exactly want our whole population to die. Now Caucasia is used to these cold, wet temperatures, so they're not affected too badly. But if you're like Ethiopia or Egypt, it's not going to be fun. But if you're like Caucasia's doing pretty well, Anatolia is also doing pretty well, I'd argue. The Absolute Kingdom is doing alright. Greece isn't doing too bad. I should say the Albanians, not Greece. Albania's doing alright. Because it's not the coldest in Albania, but I mean, they could probably get away with it. Because they have all the Greek lands, so they can make, like, olives and stuff. It's pretty mountainous in Greece. Alright, that's the Turk. I gotta stop. I keep confusing the countries, which I find insane, because this is like the 17th episode. I did say we gotta turn 1300, 50, and I think we'll do one more turn. Because that was a pretty big thing that happened. For the last turn, Albania got a new leader, and I think that's where we're gonna end this. And the only reason why I'm saying this is because I don't really know if I want to like make any extra stuff. That's just a pretty good video already. I think it's a good amount. I don't know how I'm been recording for. Oh yeah, I'm gonna show off the new terrain now that I remember. I'm gonna do that now, so you can see what I'm talking about. Let me just save this. You'll be seeing this in like March. If you haven't heard, well, actually, that's how you'll be seeing this. It'll be like 5 months since. Actually, no, 7 months since I posted the thing. I basically posted that I'll be taking like my schedule will be 2 weeks now, like bi-weekly, and that's mostly because I just have like you have to be worried about having like high school, so you know. All right, let's show off West Africa real quick. This is West Africa, and as you can see, you're probably asking yourself, what are these gray areas? This is a terrain map, and these are basically like different new terrains. So this is like, I think this is jungle, this is like flatlands, this is like the desert. These are hills, this is the desert, and I think this is like arid, I'm pretty sure. It's only on West Africa. I can't really show much because I'm not really the best at understanding this map. But I think let me just make sure the game loads for next episode because that would be really bad. So let's just make sure it loads. I don't know when I'll record next episode, probably tomorrow. Let's see that. Let me make sure. Does it load? Alright, let me just do a test. Caucasia will just say. Medium expands. All these events are non-canon when I'm just testing it. So like you won't see this in the next video. Southwest will get a medium expands. Alrighty, we just test one more time. You never know, medium expands. And yep, we're good. Alright, with that being said, good. Bye guys.